Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After our visit to Germany for Night Fighter Ace last week, we're going to revisit a very familiar universe. We're headed back to the Marvel Comics universe to play Marvel Champions. In this game, we take control of heroes in the Marvel Comics universe to defeat a villain before they either complete their main scheme or defeat us. First up, let's go meet tonight's villain. Our villain for tonight is Klaw, who will come in two stages, and main schemes similar to most of the villains. So Klaw on stage 1 has a scheme of 2 and an attack of 0, but there's an apostrophe or a star there. Forced interrupt. When Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for this activation. Come meet your doom. Hit points 12 per hero. I was about to say investigator. I haven't been playing too much in the Arkham Files, but it's enough that it's kind of stuck as a habit. And his first scheme is underground distribution. The attack on the shield facility has been linked to an underground weapons network. Contents which we all have set that up already before over last night. And setup. Search the encounter deck for the defense network side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck, advance to stage 1B. We'll go through, I've already done that as well. We'll reveal that when we get over to the main game area. Anyway, scheme stage 1B, underground distribution. Your investigation reveals that the criminal enterprise is operated by Klaw, an old rival of the Avengers. When revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play engaged with the first player. Starts off with no threat, but gets 1 per on when the villain schemes, or when the villain schemes during the villain phase. So with that, let's move over to our main game area and meet our heroes tonight. Our first player tonight, our first hero, aka our first hero, is going to be Aurora Monroe, aka Storm, as you can probably see. 6 hand size, 10 HP, recovers for 3 on basic recovery. She's a mutant. Aurora Monroe begins the game with a weather deck. I feel a storm coming. During setup, we choose a support from the weather deck and put it into play. And as you can see, we've chosen Clear Skies to start with. Permanent, each character gains Stalwart, which means they can't be stunned or confused, and any existing conditions would fall off. On a special, draw 1 card. So obviously we won't get to do that, but she will also be the character that ends up with our extra minion when we finish resolving scheme setup. Taking a look at her hand, I'm not going to go through most of the hand because most of these are going to end up being played. I'm not too thrilled with our starting hand, but we can probably work with it. Anyway, let's move over to our other hero. As you've probably guessed, our second hero, aka heroine tonight, is going to be Jean Grey, aka Phoenix. Hand size of 6, 9 HP. Recovers for 3. Mutant Psionic. Setup, put your Phoenix Force upgrade into play, restrained side face up, with 4 power counters on it. Response, after you make a basic recovery, place 1 power counter on Phoenix Force. We'll take a look at Phoenix Force as well. Permanent, she gains the restrained trait. Force response, after the last power counter is removed from here, flip this card. And as you can see, we've got our 4 power counters for the start of the game. We'll go through more about how we use those when we get into the game. But 9 HP, so they're all set. Let's move up top to check our starting shot. Last 2 things we need to straighten out are our defense network and setting Storm up with her first minion. So the side scheme that setup told us to put into play is defense network. Side scheme. Klaw's criminal enterprise is protected by a gang of hired thugs. When revealed, we have to place an additional 1 per hero threat here, which is another 2, so there's a total of 4 threat on it. But it's also got the crisis icon on it, meaning we can't thwart the main scheme while this is still in play. So we need to discard cards from the encounter deck until we get a minion to go into play engaged with Storm. So let's see what we find here. Not a minion, not a minion, not a minion. Minion, oh joy. Whirlwind. Scheme of 1, attack for 2 with a forced interrupt. When Whirlwind attacks you, also resolve his attack against each other hero. And boost, deal 1 damage to each hero. Actually, when he's revealed as a boost is what that means. 6 HP. Fun. So we've already got something we need to deal with. But Storm might be able to do that easily. So I think we're all set. Let's drop down into this game and get down to Storm as our first player. I wasn't completely happy with Storm's opening hand at the start of the game, but now I think I'm a little bit happier with it. First thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to flip Aurora Monroe into Storm. Attacks for... She now has a hand size of 5. Thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, 1 defense. Weather control, action. Swap your weather support in play with the support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability on your weather support in play. Limit once per round. Okay, with that in mind, I'm going to pay a genius for the 2 resources in the bottom left corner to play out a Clobber to Clobber Whirlwind. As a hero action, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you've played this round, return this card to your hand. If I have to hit you again, you'll stay down. For good. Gamora. So we do get this right back in hand, and Whirlwind takes 3 damage. I don't want to let him sit around pinging us. Then I'm going to play Plan of Attack. It's a tactic. As an action, I can search the top 4 cards of my deck, 7 instead if I'm an alter ego, for an attack event and add it to my hand, then shuffle. No, I have a plan. Attack. Star-Lord. Seems pretty simple. So we'll get our 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that we get to look at. First up, Into the Fray, which is tempting, but I won't be able to use that to remove threat from the side scheme. Next up, Power of Aggression. I wish I could keep that, but I can't. So I'll put that to the side. Next up, another Clobber, which is also tempting, and you'll pay for that, which we can't take. So our choices are Into the Fray or Clobber, and I think I'm going to take Clobber here. Like I said, I'd love to be able to keep the Power of Aggression, but I'm restricted by being able to only go looking for an attack event. All right, then I will pay... Let's pay Piercing Strike and a Clobber to play another Clobber, and we'll take Whirlwind out. That way we don't have the problem with him trying to keep attacking us. Then I'll have Storm Basic Attack for 2. Actually, before we do that, let's have her change the weather. I don't know if I like the idea of giving him additional attack. But I think we'll take the free shot, basically. So we will actually flip into Thunderstorm. Each character gets +1 attack, and on special, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So that will bring Klaw down to 22, and then Storm will basic attack for another 3 to bring him down to 19. That will wrap Storm's turn, so let's move over to Phoenix. Like Storm, Jean Grey's first play is going to be to flip into Phoenix. Hand size is now 5. Thwarts for 3, attacks for 1, defense for 2. Psionic Bond. Hero resource. Remove a power counter from Phoenix Force. Generate a wild resource. Limit once per phase. So with that in mind, I'm going to take a resource off of Phoenix Force. And I'm going to pay a Telepathic Trickery and a She-Hulk to play out a telekinetic attack to deal 7 damage to an enemy. If you have the Unleashed trait, this attack deals 2 additional damage and gains Overkill. Poor fool. You have no idea how hopelessly outmatched you are. Phoenix. Well, we can hope anyway, so that's another 7 damage to Klaw. And we've already managed to cut his health in half. So now Klaw is down to 12. Then we're going to pay a psychic blast. Actually, let me make sure. Yep, okay. Just one resource. So we're going to pay 1 psychic blast and a Phoenix Flame and a Phoenix Firebird to play another psychic blast. As a hero action, deal 4 damage to the villain. If you have the Unleashed trait, deal 4 damage to each minion engaged with you. We fight on different battlefields. Your strength won't help you in mine, Phoenix. So that's another 3 to Klaw. Bring him down to 9. And then since Phoenix is restrained, she's going to thwart for 3 to get rid of 3 of the threat on Defense Network. So that's it for Phoenix's turn. That's it for the hero phase. Now let's move back up top and get ready for the villain phase. Storm and Phoenix will both ready. Storm likes her hand, so she'll draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't completely hate that. We'll see what happens with the rest of her turn, though. Phoenix is jazz hands, so she'll be drawing 5 cards. 3, 4, 5. Okay, I don't completely hate that. But now we're into the villain phase, so now we put 2 threat up on the main scheme, which remember, we can't thwart until we get rid of Defense Network. And now the villain activates. He'll be attacking Storm, she won't defend this, but we have to remember to give 1 additional boost card for the activation. So first boost card for Storm. So we're dealing 1 plus, this attack deals damage to you, exhaust your hero, which it will. And nothing, so we just take 1 damage. The 1 damage is because we're in Thunderstorm, so Storm does go down to 9. But that will exhaust her, unfortunately. As for Phoenix, she won't defend either. Next up, so Phoenix's first boost card is an Armored Guard, so this is going to be 1, 2, and her second card. So Phoenix takes 3 damage. That will bring Phoenix down to 6. And now we'll deal out encounter cards. First up, we have Storm's encounter card. Klaw's Vengeance. When revealed, hero. So there are 2 states here. When revealed in alter ego, it does something. But since we're in hero, we resolve the when revealed. Klaw attacks you. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. So Klaw will be attacking. Storm does not have the option to defend this time, so this is 1 plus... Oh joy, we've got a boost. Put Weapons Runner into play engaged with you. Scheme an attack for 1 and has 2 health. And 2 more, so that's a total of 3 damage. So Storm goes down to 6 as well. And now she's got a Weapons Runner to deal with, which is all kinds of fun. And then, we got to put another threat up on the main scheme as well. So I'll trade this single out. So I'll trade the 2 singles out with the third one coming in for a 3. And then Phoenix's encounter card. Sound Manipulation. When revealed on hero side, take 2 damage and Klaw heals 2. That's not fun. So Phoenix takes another 2. And Klaw will heal for 2 to bring him back up to 11. Well, that's a bit of a problem. We may need to have Phoenix at least flip and heal this round. But I also want to deal with that Weapons Runner if I can. So, with that, we're into a new hero phase, and now Phoenix becomes our first player. So let's drop down and see what Phoenix is getting up to. I was just giving a little bit of thought to how I wanted to do this, but I think I can make all this work. So, I'm going to pay an Into the Fray for 1 resource to play out 1 by 1. It's an event. Hero action attack. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Lots of tricks up these sleeves, ladies and gentlemen. Moon Girl. Phoenix will deal 2 damage to the weapons runner, which will defeat that, and then also deal 2 damage to Klaw to bring him down to 9. So we've managed to undo the damage that we had from last turn, and then as a response, I'll play Chase Them Down. As a response, Thwart. After your hero attacks and defeats an enemy, which that was an attack event, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Kamala, we don't have a theme song. Please stop humming one. Captain Marvel. Unfortunately, because of the crisis, we can only thwart the last threat off of Defense Network, so we get rid of that scheme. But we're going to spend a resource from Phoenix Force and her Mind Control to play Psychic Assault. Play only if your identity has the Psionic trait, and ours does. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, confuse that enemy. We'll deal 3 damage to Klaw to bring him down to 6, which will also confuse him. So this is our first look at the confused status card. The next time this character would thwart or scheme, discard this status card instead. So Klaw is now confused. That resource is gone, but it's going to be coming right back because we have to flip over into Jean Grey, and then we'll heal for 3, which will put a counter back on. Which will put a counter right back on Phoenix Force. That's it for Phoenix, as her hand is now empty, so let's move over to Storm. The first thing Storm's going to do is she's going to change the weather. We're going to go back to clear skies. Actually, no, I don't want to go back to clear. I don't want to go to clear skies. I think we're going to go to. What scheme do I want to go to? I was on Thunderstorm. I don't want to go to clear skies because I want Klaw confused. I think we're going to go to Hurricane, where each character will gain Retaliate 1, and on special we'll remove 2 threat from a scheme. So we'll remove 2 threat from Underground Distribution to bring that back down to 1. Ideally, I don't want to do too much attacking because I don't want to flip Klaw just yet. I'm going to see if I can get this lightning bolt on the board. Then I'm going to use a You'll Pay for That to play out Soul Sisters. Team up Phoenix and Storm, max 1 per deck. Hero action, ready Phoenix and Storm, heal 2 damage from each of them. So we get to ready up Phoenix, ready up Jean Grey, and Storm. We'll heal 2 damage from both of them. So Phoenix goes back to full health. Storm goes back up to 8. Now I have the option that I could attack if I wanted to, but I don't think I do. So instead, I think we're going to. I don't really want to take two retaliate damage back. The question here is, do I actually care if we're going to be on Alter Ego's side anyway? I don't think I care about the plus attack. So I think with that in mind, I'm going to keep working Klaw down slowly. So I'm going to play Weather Goddess, which as a hero action lets me swap my weather support in play with a support of my choice from the weather deck and resolve the special ability on my weather support in play. The elements marshal their infinite might at my beckoning. Storm. So now we're going to go right back to Thunderstorm. Yeah, we're going to go right back to Thunderstorm, where each character gets +1 attack, and the special lets us deal 2 damage to an enemy, which will deal 2 damage to Klaw. Come on. There we are. 2 damage to Klaw. Then Storm will actually attack for 3 to bring Klaw down to 1. And then she's going to flip back into Aurora Monroe. Then that will do it for the hero phase. Let's move back up top, heading toward the villain phase. Storm will ready up. We've got Klaw already at 1 health, so we're ready to flip him over next round. Phoenix is all jazz hands, so she'll be drawing 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wow. Okay, we got a lot of our resources coming, but we can probably work with that. Storm is going to discard 1 card and draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I don't completely hate that. Alright, so we're all set there, which means we put another 2 threat on the main scheme. Once again, I'll trade this single out for a 3. We're doing a great job keeping that under control, but we're also just about ready to flip Klaw. He would go to activate against Phoenix and try to scheme, but we just discard the Confused instead and move on. So he'll be scheming against Storm, which means he'll be scheming for 2 plus whatever the boost is on this card. And it's another weapons runner, so we just get 2 threat back on the. So we just get 2 threat on the main scheme. Delightful. All right, then we deal out encounter cards. Phoenix up first. She finds Melter. Oh boy. 1 scheme, 3 attack, and an exhaustion. The engaged player must defend against Melter's attacks with an ally they control if able. And on a boost, exhaust each ally you control. Oh, that's fun. And then Storm finds Sonic Boom. When revealed, either spend 1 of each resource or exhaust each character you control. And on a boost, but we're not worried about that. If this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. Do we have 1 of each resource? We do not. Which means we will have to exhaust Storm, which is unfortunate. Because I was planning on using her basic attack to flip us into stage 2, but we can probably get around that. So, with that in mind, Storm will be our first player, so it's time to get ready for a new hero phase. Fortunately for us, the weapons runner is just some random schlup off the street, so we don't have to worry about him too much. But we are going to flip into Storm because I'm going to need to be able to attack here. But it's not actually the weapons runner I'm going to be attacking, because I'm going to be spending 3 resources. I'm going to be spending an Into the Fray, you'll pay for that, and a Torrential Rain to play another Into the Fray, which will deal 6 damage to a minion, which I'll probably use to take out Melter. For each actually, can Phoenix take out Melter by herself? She could, but I think I'm going to be better served if I use the. She's got a card in her hand that I'm going to like for that a lot better. So I'll use Into the Fray to take out Melter, dealing 6 damage to a minion. For each point of excess damage dealt by the attack, we get to remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So I will defeat Melter and remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Unfortunately, that is all unless I want to flip the weather, and I think, would we even care about flipping the weather at this point to the one I think we would be? No. What we could do, actually, we could change the weather and then immediately change it back, which might be worth doing. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I think we'll change Storm's weather using her weather control. We'll actually go to Hurricane, which will give each character Retaliate 1, and on a special we get to remove 2 threat from a scheme. We'll take that off of the underground distribution. Then we'll Weather Goddess to change it right back to Thunder. No, actually I don't want to change it to. I was going to change it to Thunderstorm and take out the weapons runner, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to change it to to Clear Skies, which will give each character Stalwart, but Storm will get to draw a card. She will draw Wolverine, one of her allies. Thwarts for 1, costs 4 to play though. 3 attack, but takes 2 consequential damage back. Takes 1 back when he thwarts. Wolverine's attack gains piercing, and after your turn begins, heal 1 damage from Wolverine. We may be discarding him to pay for something at some point, but that's it for Storm's turn. Now let's move into Phoenix. Now that we're at full health, Phoenix is going to flip back into Phoenix. Then she's going to take a resource off of Phoenix Force to play, not that. We don't need that. We hardly need that yet. To play 1 by 1. We'll deal 2 damage once again to the weapons runner and deal 2 damage to Klaw, which will immediately flip him into stage 2. So let's see what we've got to deal with for stage 2. Schemes for 2, attacks for 1. Same forced interrupt, but when revealed, we have to search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Alright, so we've got to find the Immortal Klaw, which I just saw what it's going to be dealing with. There's a cut. Hopefully we buried some of the dangerous cards to the bottom. But we have the Immortal Klaw. Klaw's Mastery of Sound allows him to restore his solid form through sheer power of will. Klaw gets plus 10 hit points. When the scheme is defeated, Klaw loses these hit points, and it's got the, what is that? I believe that's the acceleration icon, right? Yes. So during enemy activation, we place 1 extra threat on the main scheme per acceleration we have. So we'll put that there, and it starts with 6 threat. I'm only going to get 3 out, though, because Phoenix is immediately going to thwart and cut that in half. So we only need the 3 threat for that. The question is, do I want to thwart that? Oh! Klaw also has 36. He goes up to 46 hit points. We could just get that most of the way to being defeated, but I don't think... you know what, we're actually going to work on that, I think. So we're going to pay Soul Sisters to play Phoenix Firebird. As a hero action, I can choose either removing 1 power counter to ready Phoenix from Phoenix Force to ready Phoenix, or place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. I'm actually going to remove a power counter to ready Phoenix, and then I'm going to thwart... What do I want to thwart? I'm going to thwart the Immortal Klaw, so he loses those extra hit points right away. Which will bring Phoenix right back, or not Phoenix, Klaw right back down to 36. And then with resources for days in hand, I think we're going to sit tight there. Then we'll move back up top to get ready for the villain phase. We'll go ahead and ready both of our ladies up. Storm is mostly happy with her hand, so she's going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And we'll see... Okay. I don't totally hate this. I just mostly hate this. Well, no, actually I take that back. I think I can work with this. Then Phoenix is going to have resources for days, so she'll draw 2. Okay, I think I can work with that. Then into the villain phase, we get 2 more threat. I'll trade this single out for a 3. Then he's attacking Storm. We'll get 2 boost cards out for that. Storm will... Storm's going to defend, actually. Not that her defense is great, but it'll cancel out the 1 that Klaw has naturally. So 1 plus... 3, yikes, plus another... None, so 3 damage gets through to Storm. So that brings Storm down to 5. Come on. Phoenix, on the other hand, will also get her cards. She will... She will not defend. So she's going to be taking 1 plus... None plus... None. So actually Phoenix takes only 1 damage. That could have been a lot worse. But it also means we've got some particularly dangerous cards still in the deck. Dealing out encounter cards. Storm's card first. Like this one. This is a very dangerous card. Shadows of the Past. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion and put it into play engaged with you. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis side scheme and put it into play. Shuffle the rest of your set-aside Nemesis encounter set into the encounter deck. If your Nemesis minion does not enter the game this way, this card gains Surge. So Storm... Okay, so we've got all that. The rest of that gets shuffled into the deck, which is not great. So we'll give that a shuffle. Alright, so first up we'll reveal Storm's Nemesis minion, Callisto. Yikes. Schemes for 1, attacks for 3, 5 health, elite Morlock, quick strike, forced interrupt. When a knife fight treachery is revealed, give Callisto a tough status card. I'm going to ruin that pretty little face of yours. You better not. Unfortunately, Storm is down to 2 health. So we are going to need to defeat Callisto pronto. Then her side scheme is Leader of the Morlocks. Callisto protects the Morlocks, but she won't let anyone question her authority. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside area for knife fight and reveals it. We need 2 per hero threat for that, or 4. The rocket ship icon it's got on there is the amplify icon. So during enemy activation, add 1 boost icon to each boost card per amplify icon. So during enemy activation, add 1 boost card to each boost card per amplify icon. So we're adding 1 to each boost. That thing needs to go pronto. Phoenix reveals. Burning Hunger. Give to the Jean Grey player. When revealed, if you have the Unleashed trait, which we don't, we'll ignore that. If you have the Restrained trait, which we do, remove 1 power counter from Phoenix Force, and this card gains Surge. Discard this card. That's not a completely terrible thing though, because we're removing the last power counter from Phoenix Force. Phoenix will be getting a Surge card in a second. We'll put that there. But Phoenix Force also flips, since the last power counter was removed, to its Unleashed side. So now Phoenix gets -2 thwart and +2 attack. Force response. If a power counter is placed here, if there are 4 or more power counters here, flip this card. Okay, and then Phoenix's Burning Hunger surged into Claustrophobia. Give to the Aurora Monroe player. Flip to Alter Ego form. You can't change forms. Alter Ego action, exhaust Aurora Monroe to remove Claustrophobia from the game. Great. Well, that kind of went sideways for Storm in a hurry, I would say. So now it sounds like Phoenix's job number 1 is getting rid of Callisto. We also need to worry about getting rid of that Leader of the Morlocks pronto. So with that in mind, I think we can work on both this turn, though. So with that, let's move down to Phoenix as our first player. Phoenix's job number 1 just became taking out Callisto. So she will do what exactly? She'll start with a basic attack for 3 on Callisto, to bring Callisto down to 3, or down to 2 health left. Then she's going to use a Genius. She'll have to let one of the resources float away. but will play out another 1-for-1, dealing 2 damage to an enemy, which will be Callisto, if this attack defeats that enemy, and it will deal 2 damage to an enemy. So Callisto will go bye-bye, thank God. And then Klaw will take 2 to bring him down to 34. I think Phoenix is probably going to be in... I think Phoenix is going to stay in hero form because Aurora can't flip. So with that in mind, I'm going to pay out a power of aggression to play another Psychic Assault to deal 3 more damage to Klaw and confuse him. That'll be 3 more damage to Klaw and confusing him. And that's it for Phoenix. Now let's move over to Storm. Could you have picked a worse time to go claustrophobic on me, Storm? Well, we'll try to get around it anyway. So, we're going to pay out a Power of Aggression, which can be doubled because I will be paying for a red card with it, a Plan of Attack, and a Blast of Wind to play Wolverine. Do you feel lucky, bub? Well, let's find out, because Wolverine's also going to be attacking Klaw for 3, but he'll take 2 damage back, which will bring him down to which will bring Klaw down to 28. But again, Wolverine takes 2 damage back. So not a very eventful turn for Storm on that front, but that will do it for the hero phase. Now let's move back up top and get ready for the villain phase. Both of our ladies will ready. Looking at Phoenix's hand, I'm happy with that, so we'll draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can probably work with this. Alright. And then Storm Wolverine also readies. As for Storm, she'll be drawing 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I can probably work with this. Alright, that'll be another, and then we put another 2 threat up on the main scheme, so I'll trade that single out for a 6. Or trade that single out for a 3, so we're up to 6 threat on the main scheme. Phoenix is going to be getting attacked. And we've got an Amplify. We got Amplify 1 on each of these boost cards. So add 1 boost icon to each boost card per Amplify. So I think Phoenix has the potential to be taking a lot of damage. Oh, actually, shoot. I was in clear skies. So Klaw actually didn't get confused because I ended up having to change form. So Klaw actually did not get confused, which is a bit of a problem, but nothing I can do about that now. So Phoenix is going to defend. There's way too much potential for Phoenix to take a lot of damage here. 1 plus... That'll be 1... Add 1 boost icon to each boost card, so that's going to be 2... 5, so Phoenix defended, which cancels out the 1 from Klaw, so 1, 2, 3, 4 damage to Phoenix, which cuts her health in half down to 4. That's delightful. And then Storm is getting schemed again, so he'll scheme for 2 plus another 2, so 4 threat. So 4 more threat on the main scheme. Remember that that card only had 1 boost icon, but we're adding 1 because of the leader of the Morlocks side scheme being in play. Then we deal out encounter cards. Phoenix's encounter card is a knife fight. When revealed in alter ego, which she is not. When revealed enemy, choose an enemy with the highest attack, take damage equal to its attack. Deal damage to that enemy equal to your attack. The only enemy right now in play is Klaw, so Phoenix will be taking another 1 damage, going down to 3. But she'll deal 3 damage back to Klaw to bring Klaw down to 25. And then Storm's card. Radioactive Man. Oh, great. Schemes for 1, attacks for 1, and on a forced response, after Radioactive Man attacks you, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Delightful. So it sounds like he needs to go, like, pronto. Trying to figure out how we can do that. Yeah, we should be able to work around that. So, with that in mind, Storm will become our first player. And we'll move into the hero phase. I think Wolverine's going to have to live out his purpose of being Storm's meat shield here. So, Storm's going to exhaust so I can remove claustrophobia from the game. That needs to go away. Then I'm going to flip into... Actually, Wolverine heals a damage at the start of Storm's turn. Then we're going to flip into Storm because we need to be able to attack and get rid of this Radioactive Man, like, now. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. So Wolverine will start with an attack for 3 and we'll aim at Radioactive Man. So he'll take 3, but Wolverine will take 1 back. Then we're going to change the weather into Thunderstorm to deal 2 more damage to Radioactive Man, which will bring him up to 5. Then, perfect. So I'm going to pay 3 resources. I'm going to pay a Flash Freeze, a Torrential Rain, and a Piercing Strike with 3 resources to play out a Lightning Bolt. As a hero action, I can deal 8 damage to an enemy. If Thunderstorm is in play, and it is, resolve its special ability. Do you know what happens to a villain when it's struck by lightning? Storm. So we'll deal 8 damage to an enemy, which will deal the 8 damage to Radioactive Man, which will take him out. And then if Thunderstorm isn't... I'm going to leave that in play. I'm going to leave that for a second. We'll resolve Thunderstorm to deal 2 damage to Klaw, which will bring him down to 23. And then the reason I'm leaving it in play, but it's ultimately going to go away, is Moment of Truth. I'm going to be playing Moment of Triumph. Hero response: after I attack and defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage from my hero for each excess point of damage dealt to that enemy by that attack. So we needed 3 damage from Thunderstorm to take out Radioactive Man. So Storm will actually get to heal for 5 from that. So that'll bring her up to 7, and then Radioactive Man goes away. This icon at the top left means he is a character card, so any effect that says all characters would affect him, so we do need to be mindful of that. Klaw also has that icon, as you can probably imagine. Then we're going to play Weather Goddess once again to swap the weather. Once again. So we're going to go to Hurricane. Yeah, we're going to go to Hurricane mostly so we can start working on 2 threat from Leader of the Morlocks. We're not in danger of flipping over. We're not in danger of flipping over Underground Distribution, but I do want to try to get rid of Leader of the Morlocks if I can. So with that, I think that's it for the turn. For Storm's turn, so let's move over to Phoenix. Phoenix's first action is she's going to pay a Strength and a Relentless Assault for 3 resources to play out Cyclops Scott Summers, also a character. Thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, takes 1 consequential damage back either way. 3 health to kill. Response: after he enters play, place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Forced Interrupt: when he leaves play, remove 2 power counters from Phoenix Force. So we'll put him over here. Yeah, we'll put him up here. Then we'll put 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Then he's going to thwart Leader of the Morlocks for 2. which will take one, which will get a single, and he'll take 1 damage back from that. Mostly because I'm going to try to get rid of the boost icons on there pronto. And I think that will actually do it since we don't have any minions in play. So, with that in mind, let's move back up top to get ready for the villain phase. Both of our ladies will ready up, as will their respective allies. Storm is jazz hand, so she will draw... Storm is empty on cards, so she will draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I can probably work with this. And then Phoenix will discard... Will actually keep her hand as well. She'll draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, so we'll put another 2 threat up on the main scheme, which will bring us up to 10. He's still not in danger of flipping that over yet, thankfully. Then he's going to attack. He's going to attack Storm first with 2 cards. She's looking at Wolverine like, hi, Meat Shield. Because Klaw will be attacking for 2+, or for 1+, actually 3 to a total of 5 damage. So Wolverine is very much dead. Once again, we're adding boost icons, 1 per card because of Leader of the Morlocks, which has an amplify. Phoenix will also be taking 2 cards, but she'll throw Cyclops in the way of this one. So this will be 1 plus 3 plus, so 2 plus boost. Give the villain a tough status card. Either way, Cyclops is defeated, and now Klaw is tough. That's not good. And then we get encounter cards. I'm not liking what I feel with the deck. The deck's empty right now, but we actually don't shuffle until we need to draw, which will give him an acceleration icon, I believe. I'm just double checking that real quick. Let me see. Empty encounter deck. The discard pile is immediately shuffled, actually, so I stand corrected on that. So we immediately shuffle it, and we get an acceleration icon. I also need to take the power counters off of Phoenix Force. I'll do that in a second. Once I get all of this sorted out, so there's a cut on the deck, and we'll put an acceleration icon out. So now we're putting more threat up on the main scheme. So actually, Storm's card is up first. She finds Masters of Mayhem. Each Masters of Evil minion attacks the hero it is engaged with. If no attacks were made this way, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Masters of Evil minion and put it into play engaged with you, then shuffle the encounter deck. Oh, wonderful. Let me get those off, those power counters off before I forget. Masters of Evil. Do I want Radioactive Man again, or... I think we'll take Melter. Melter with schemes for 1, attacks for 3, and the engaged player must defend against Melter's attacks with an ally they control if able. Unfortunately, he is a character as well, so we do have to be sensitive to Hurricane. Phoenix finds Switchblade. Oh boy. Attach to the minion with the highest printed attack. Otherwise, this card gains Surge. Attached minions' attacks gain Piercing. +2 attack? Yikes. Melter needs to go bye-bye like pronto. Phoenix is our first player, so let's see what we can do about that. As much as I don't like this, I need Phoenix to be able to flip and heal this turn. So, I think with that in mind, I'm going to pay out... I think I'm going to pay a Relentless Assault and a Phoenix Suit for 2 resources to play out another Relentless Assault. As a hero action attack, I deal 5 damage to a minion. If I paid for this card using a combat resource, this attack gains Overkill. Excess damage from this attack is dealt to the villain. Unfortunately, 5 is Xaxes to take out Melter, but I need him to go bye-bye too much. So I'm not even going to be able to use the... I'm not going to be able to use the Overkill on that. But I will play out Chase Them Down as well to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Now, I could take it off of... Let's see, if we take it off, even if we take it off of Underground Distribution, that's going to leave us at 10, that'll leave us at 9 threat, which means we'd still scheme, that scheme would still complete. So I think the better play is to take it off of Leader of the Morlocks and get rid of that Amplify icon, because that has been causing us a lot of problems, to put it mildly. So there's our discard pile for that. Then Phoenix will flip and heal for 3, which will bring her back up to 6, but it'll put a power counter on Phoenix Force, which I actually don't completely mind, since it's going to take her 4 to get back to being restrained. So that's it for Phoenix. Now let's move over to see what Storm's doing. I was just figuring out what I wanted Storm to do, but I think she's going to start off with Weather Control to flip into Thunderstorm, which will let her deal 2 damage to an enemy, which will just ping Klaw's Tough off without having to deal with retaliate damage. Then she's going to attack Klaw for 3 to bring him down to 20. Then we're going to harken back to my preferably forgotten Days of Magic the Gathering to pay out 3 resources and throw a lightning bolt at Klaw's dome, which will be a total of 10 damage. So 8 for the attack plus 2 from Thunderstorm's special ability, which will bring Klaw down to 10, and now we're looking for ways to kill him. So I think with that in mind, do I care about us scheming? Do I care about him scheming right now, or do I just want to dig for cards to try to make this game get over with? I think we can always flip back, assuming we find cards to make this game over with. Because it's likely that he's not going to scheme out his second scheme in 1 turn. So I think we're just going to flip here and let him scheme on us a little bit, especially since, again, we're getting ready to flip over the second scheme. Yeah, I think we'll do it that way. So with that all set up, let's move back up top to get ready for the villain phase. Both of our ladies will ready up. We'll look at Phoenix's hand first. I'm happy with that, so she'll draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right now I'm just looking for ways to attack so I can finish this game. Okay, I think that'll work. As for Storm, I think she's going Jazz Hands to draw 6. She's going to empty her hand and draw 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Because again, the goal here is to just finish the game outright this turn. So, going into the villain phase, I'll tip the camera up so you can see what's going on. He's going to complete his first scheme. So Underground Distribution is all done, but Klaw is very much in a bad way right now. So we move to scheme 2A. Secret Rendezvous. Klaw has found a buyer for his illegal weapons. It's up to you to stop the sale, but the meeting is surrounded by Klaw's cronies. When revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play engaged with the first player. Advance to stage 2B. Alright, so we're discarding from the encounter deck until we find a minion. Not a minion, not a minion, not a minion. Minion. Delightful. Radioactive Man. Again, he does not want to go away. And then 2A flips into 8 per hero. Secret Rendezvous. Klaw is meeting with the Crimson Cowl. Klaw and the mysterious figure dart into the shadows when you confront them, and Klaw's minions move to cover their escape. Doesn't come in with any threat, thankfully, but if the stage is completed, the players lose the game. Okay, so that was the... Alright, so we did the scheming out, which means now the villain, and all minions activate against us, I believe. I'm not used to having minions in play during the villain phase. Place the amount of threat. Villain activates once against each player. And for each activation, any minions also activate. So Klaw will be scheming for 2 plus 0, but it'll be a total of 3 threat because of Radioactive Man. Then scheming against Storm as well. He will scheme for 2 plus 2 more is a total of 4 threat. So that'll put 7 threat up. Oop. As long as he doesn't scheme out here, I think we can probably finish him off this turn. So Phoenix's encounter card first, she finds. Weapons Runner's back once again, but it has Surge. After this card is revealed, reveal 1 additional card. So Phoenix has got to reveal another card she finds. An Armored Guard. While this minion is engaged with you, you can't attack the villain. Toughness. This villain enters play with a tough status card. Oh, delightful. So that comes into play with tough. Storm finds. An Armored Guard as well. Delightful. Well, that kind of changes the calculus on us more than a little bit, but probably not terribly. I say that, but I'm kind of looking at our situation here. Suddenly we've got a lot of minions in front of us now. We can probably still work with this, though. So let's move into the hero phase, and Storm will now be our first player. I was giving this a little bit of thought how I could finish it, and I think I can finish this game this round. So we're going to start off by flipping Aurora into Storm. Then we're going to pay out a Power of Aggression and a Torrential Rain for a Piercing Strike. As a hero action and attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy. This attack gains Piercing, but we get to discard any tough status cards from the target before dealing damage. So we're targeting Storm's Armored Guard, which means the tough goes away, and then 3 damage is enough to take out the Armored Guard. That will go back there. Then we're going to pay out Storm's equipment, her cape and her crown, to play a Clobber, to clobber Klaw for another 3 to bring him down to 7. Then we're going to Weather Control. Then we're not going to Weather Control yet. We're going to attack Klaw for 3 to bring him down to 4. And then for this to work, you normally don't see me go to this. In this situation, you normally wouldn't see me go to this weather very often. But I'm going to go to Blizzard in this case. Each character will get -1 attack, but that'll only affect basic actions, and that will become important in a second. What's important now is we get to choose a non-elite minion, which, yep, he is. Perfect. Until the end of the round, treat that minion's text box as if it were a blank, except for traits. So we're going to blank the Armored Guard that's currently on Phoenix right now. Most importantly, I want to blank the guard out so that I can actually attack the villain. That's it for Storm. Speaking of Phoenix, let's go say hello to her. First things first, we need to flip into Phoenix. Then we're going to use a Power of Aggression, which we can double that since we are paying for a red card from it. We're going to play No Quarter. Requirement to pay with a combat resource, and we are, because that was a wild resource. Hero action, deal 4 damage to an enemy. For each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy by this attack, discard the top card of your deck and add each aggression card to your discarded this way to your hand. We're going to aim that 4 damage, though, at Klaw, which will bring him down exactly to 0 and allow us to win the game. So, let's move back up top to wrap this video up. I could probably have done it the long way if I had to, but thankfully I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it the long way. So we have managed to defeat Klaw in this playthrough of Marvel Champions. I do really enjoy this game. It gives a lot of replayability, and there's still a lot for me to go through, even with Storm and Phoenix even with just having Storm and Phoenix so far built. But we've got a busy week coming up on the channel. Sunday we're debuting Arc Nova on the channel, and after that, I can't believe we're coming up to this, we're going to have the intro for Christmas in Arkham 2023. As for Thanksgiving week, we'll have the first part of the Fate of the Elder Gods tournament as we start Christmas in Arkham. More details to come on that during the intro to Christmas in Arkham on Sunday. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.